back to the Visible Entrepreneur. As you know, in the past year, I've changed a lot when it comes to my business. I've finally gotten to a place where I've been able to invest in paid ads. I waited a long time. I know a lot of people just jump in, charge it on credit cards. I didn't want to do that. Chances are you don't want to either. So I waited until I built my affiliate funnel to generate enough income to pay for my paid ad spend and management. If you want to hear more about this strategy, tune in season 3. There's an episode there where I talk specifically about how to build your affiliate funnel. So what I wanted to do today was bring in Amy Crane. I have spent the last year investing in every single Facebook ads course membership on the planet. Literally, there's like 25 of them that I have gone through and tried to learn. And until I got to Amy's membership, I felt really lost and really confused. So when I finally went into Amy's, which was called Amplify, I went in there and looked through and I thought, this makes a lot of sense. And I knew that I could trust her with my ad strategy. So I'm bringing her on the show today. We're going to talk about the strategy that we're using with me. We're not 6 months down the road. We're at month 2. So this is a great time for you to learn how to be more strategic with your ads if you're running them yourself, or possibly understand what you should be looking for when you're hiring a Facebook ads expert. So enjoy this interview with Amy. I think she is just absolutely incredible. And I think that you'll really enjoy it. So Amy, welcome to the show. I'm so happy to have you here and to bring the audience a Facebook ads expert that's actually working with me and to feature those low-cost offers in the funnel. So it's going to be a really fun conversation. Welcome to the show. And why don't you give the audience a little bit of your background?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's so exciting to be here. So I'm Amy. I manage Social Lab Marketing, and we are a Facebook ad agency, and we work specifically with course creators, digital content creators, coaches. So basically anyone that's selling products, courses, and services online, which has really been a fun niche to be in and to work with. And we work a lot with female entrepreneurs, which is also a lot of fun.
We do. You do, obviously, but I had a great time. I actually went through, as you guys know, I've been searching high and low for the right Facebook ads program. I've probably taken about 10 of them. And I finally came into Amy's membership, Amplify, and was looking through her videos and tutorials. And what I liked about her is that it wasn't a one size fits all situation. And so many people tell you inside of your membership and courses to just stick to your one thing. And for me, I just have no capability of doing that. The lounge talks about every single thing and people either love it or hate it. And what I liked about Amy is that her membership was like, okay, here's something for SLO offers. Here's something for webinars. Here's something for this. And so it was very much like, let's figure out what's going to work for you. Was that strategic, Amy?
Yeah, because I think with Facebook ads, there's this feeling that there's like a magic formula that you need to discover, and then all of a sudden you're going to make 6 figures overnight with your Facebook ads. And so I think that can be overwhelming. I also feel like a lot of people try to fit their business in this box or in this formula that may not feel in alignment with their business. And so the approach that I like to take with Facebook ads is that really, it's about what's working in your business right now. Like, what are those things that are already working in your business, and how can you use Facebook ads to amplify that? So if you don't want to do an evergreen webinar or live webinars because that doesn't feel exciting or that just doesn't feel like the right move, you don't have to do that. There are so many different ways you can run Facebook ads. So whatever feels right for you, chances are there's a way you can use ads to reach more people. So it's not so much about a magic formula. It's about, this is what's working in my business and how can I incorporate Facebook ads just to get it out to a bigger audience? Because the truth is, like, challenges work, webinars work, evergreen webinars work, but they work differently for every type of business. So it's really what feels like the best fit for you.
Absolutely. So I want to give the audience just a little bit of a progression of the point I got to before we jumped on our call. You guys, I interviewed 10 people before talking to Amy, and I signed on with Amy, I think the next day. So it just goes to show you that she really stood out to me. So I started the sales for the podcast pitch kit almost 10 months ago, I think 8 months ago. I think it was last August, September, I did organic for quite a while, making sure that it was selling. And what that really helped me do was front end my funnel or front load my funnel. So I had the podcast pitch kit. I had the podcast weekly upsell, then the second upsell into the Visibility Lounge. And what I noticed is that my monthly revenue immediately went up, substantially, just because I had those low cost offers in place. And then it actually let me, which I've been wanting to do for over 2 years, raise the price of my membership up to $97 a month. So when I had that verified, then I started driving pins to it on Pinterest and getting those click throughs and seeing that those sales were going really well. And we are going to bring in my Pinterest person, Laura Reich, in a future episode. So stay tuned. And then when I knew, okay, this works, my customers are happy, people are coming in every month, that's when I knew I wanted to go into Facebook ads. And that's when I got on a call with Amy. The other reason why I really liked Amy is because I knew some of the clients she'd been working with and I had seen what it had done for their businesses. So Amy, let's transition the conversation into those low ticket offers. And I'd love to hear the clients that you've been able to work with and the success you've helped them get to. And then let's break down what we're doing with my ad strategy.
Yeah, so actually, I love the approach that you take because I think it's so important. A lot of people kind of want to jump into Facebook ads sometimes before they're ready. And I always tell people a great ad campaign always starts with the offer. So if your offer, free or paid, if it's not something that people are really excited about, running Facebook ads isn't going to help. So it's not going to solve a sales problem. So if your low ticket funnel isn't selling right now, you do not need to run Facebook ads, right? So test it out. Make sure that it's a viable offer. It's something that people really want. Once you know that, then you can start to invest in Facebook ads as a way to get it to reach more people. So, these low ticket funnels, they're a lot of fun to work with. I think that it's a great way to build a list and build a community of people that are buying your products. And also it's a really cool way to introduce people to the way you teach, to your content, so that maybe as they go through your funnel, they might invest in signing up to work with you in a higher level. So whether that's signing up for a membership or joining a group program or a coaching program. So I think it's a really cool way to kind of ease some of those concerns or questions that people might have making those big investments, because they really get to have a preview into what it's like working with you before they have to make that big commitment.
Well, that's a really good point. I think that the mistake I made in the past is it was like jumping into Facebook ads and hoping that it would populate these different things and not having that clear strategy. So the difference here was I had that one thing. So it wasn't me trying to drive sales to the lounge because there's, so many memberships out there. It was me going, okay, what's the one thing that I can give someone a win? And deciding to go straight to sale, which I think is nerve-wracking for a lot of people. So if you have a coaching program, a membership program, one-on-one services, whatever it may be, it may be time to think about having a low-cost offer that just gives them that one tasty takeaway and being able to then build your email list with buyers who are more likely to ascend up your funnel and buy from you more. Is that a bit of the trend that you've been seeing, Amy? And how has that been working for the people who have adjusted their funnels to be an immediate buy-in?
Yeah, I think it's really interesting to see, because I think sometimes people think, well, low ticket, those people aren't going to go on to invest, which is not what we're seeing. We're seeing people move through these funnels and they're going on to buy higher ticket items. So, the problem is that if you were just going to run ads straight to your membership, like you said, most people aren't going to buy a membership from a Facebook ad, right? Or they're not going to buy a coaching program straight from an ad, especially if they don't know you, right? Now, if it's someone in your audience, sure, they might buy, but running ads to something like that to a cold audience isn't the best strategy. So this is kind of that nice middle ground where you can run ads to it. It's a quick, easy yes for most people to buy. I've bought so many,
me too.
White files as kids. I don't even know how many I've got at this point, but I love them because they're quick, they're easy. It's something I can take, and usually they're easy to implement. So it's an easy win, right? And then I always say, if someone saves you time or money, usually you're going to love that person for life, right? So if I get your low ticket offer and like, oh my God, these templates are amazing, I'm going to pay attention to what those next steps are. So I think it's a really cool way to introduce people to your offers. And also like on the Facebook ad side, being really effective as far as getting people into your audience.
Absolutely. Well, and you're a perfect example. I think I bought one of your courses for like, I don't know, it was like $17 or something, and then became a member of your membership. And now I'm doing your done for you services. Katya Varbanova, who helped me strategize my podcast pitch kit, she's coming in the show later this season. And I bought her viral content templates and then her membership for her viral, I don't know what it's called. I think it's called viral content, and then upsold into her 20K Nation Mastermind. So it is proof that at least for me, it works great. It's helped me grow my business. So I'm hoping that for all of you listening, that this is starting to get your wheels turning. It definitely isn't as stressful as it sounds. And what I loved was being able to, this is probably the most empowered I've ever felt coming on a call with Facebook ad strategists, of being able to say, I know exactly what I want to do, and I think this is going to work. And I think that's made me as the business owner a better collaborator. And especially talking to like Jillian on your team and saying like, okay, what can I do? Do we want to move into videos? What can I record? Like, how can I support you so that you can feel strengthened and empowered when you're running my ads? So let's move into my ad strategy. I'd love for you to showcase kind of what your thoughts were and what we've been doing and some of the results we've been seeing.
Yeah. So, just to kind of circle back, I do think when you're working with an ads manager, like it is so important for it to be collaborative, right? Because really we're there to support you to help get your offers out into the world. But we can have feedback that can make your funnels more effective. And the same thing, like you were connecting with your audience and you just know things about your audience. So it really should be a collaboration, I think, between the two, right? So your funnel, so we've got a low ticket funnel, right? So pretty standard low ticket funnel. You've got your podcast pitch kit, and then you've got your upsell, and then you go into your membership. So I also think this is a cool thing, is a lot of people don't realize, I think a lot of people that have memberships, they think that it's got to be like that one-time offer, like an actual course, but it actually works really well with membership. So I do the same thing with my membership. So that's just kind of the side note, but I think that's a lot of fun to play with. So a couple of things that I think people, when we're doing these funnels, is that you had an offer that was proven, that was tested, that you knew converts. And so now when we can put that ad piece together, the whole goal is that this is a way to build a list of buyers, right? So a lot of people, you're going to see a return. You want to be profitable, but in the beginning, you're doing a lot of testing. So we've got to test audiences, we've got to test creative, with the goal of getting it dialed into some of your best performing audiences. And that's kind of where we are right now. We've been testing creative and testing audiences and really getting it dialed down to see where our best cost per sale is. And then also where we're seeing the highest return on investment. So where are people actually going through and buying those upsells and order bumps? So, because I think we're coming up on like 30 days. We're in this first 30 days with you that we've been running your Facebook ads. And so far, cost per sale, I think, looks really good. We're getting some buyers. We're getting some people buying and going through the funnel, which is really exciting to see. And I think that once you can prove that you're seeing sales, you know what a consistent cost per sale is, that's when you can start spending more on your Facebook ads. So really kind of testing and seeing what's working, and then taking those numbers and starting to spend more where things are working.
Absolutely. And what I think was great is, especially like I was able to look at the reports so far. We're not technically at the exact 30 days, but we are getting really close. Is that we've tested about 8 different audiences, and what has been working the best has been the lookalike audiences, which I thought was really interesting. And that, like all the other audiences, were getting a higher cost per result. And then it wasn't even half. I mean, it came down by, how much is that? It went from like the highest being $184 down to $39. So that was pretty shocking to me. I thought that was really amazing, which just goes to show how important testing is. And so now that we've figured out what audience is working the best, now we're raising the ad budget so that we can put more and more money behind that. So Yeah, Amy, I would love to hear an example with your clients, kind of what you've been seeing, especially with the low ticket offers and what kind of results they've been able to see after working with you for a few months.
Yeah, so the interesting thing with these funnels is that I think they're like a really cool place and a great place for people to kind of start their funnel. But what's really been interesting is to see how clients are finding new ways, like as people are moving through their funnels and they're adding on these higher ticket items that people are going on to buy. So, some people will start their low ticket funnel and initially they may, see like a $2, $3 return on their ad spend, just off of kind of that initial funnel. But then as they're adding on these higher ticket items on the back end to promote to these new leads, this new list of buyers, sometimes they're seeing an even bigger return. So it could be 5 or 10 times return. But the thing is, you've got this list of people that you can keep promoting to. So this is really just that initial step. Right. And I think it's important for people to look at it as like, this is just the first step. Right now, these people are on your list. They are in your world. They have bought things from you. And so that value of that list is only going to continue to grow. So it's really been exciting. We can do some of these ad reports and say, you had a 10 times return on your ad spend this month. And it all started from this funnel. So it's been a lot of fun to play around with and see. And even in my own funnel, like you were just saying, you came through, I didn't really think we would get one-on-one clients from it. I thought it would be more of a way to fill in like the membership, but it's really been interesting to see that people are actually coming from our low ticket funnel, buying our bundle, moving to the membership, and then actually coming on as one-on-one clients. So that was something I didn't really anticipate. I just thought they'll get to the membership and I'll be really happy with that. So it's been really fun to see that too, just in my own business.
Absolutely. Well, I think for me, I had to go through everything, and not everyone has this personality type, but for me, I had to go through everything. And to be honest, know that you knew what you were talking about, because there's some people out there that don't, or that really, like what I was told a lot on discovery calls was, well, we really need to go directly to like $1,000 course. And I said, well, that's great, but that's not my business model. And it's kind of an easier thing for you because, one sale would equal $1,000 and you'd be able to prove that, you know what you're doing or whatever. But for me, this was the funnel that was going to work. And so I appreciated that you did highlight that strategy in your membership. And that when we were on our call, there was no hesitation. It wasn't like, no, like, let's do this. You worked with what I had, which I think is so important. So audience members, people listening, if you're thinking like, hey, maybe this is something I want to incorporate, I think we should cover like, this is what you should do and this is what you shouldn't do. So I'm going to kick it off with what you should do. To have a little bit of insurance, which helps you with your ad spend, is not only have your low cost product, but also have an immediate upsell that will help you with your ad spend. So for me, I have the podcast pitch kit. It's $27. The upsell is Podcast Weekly, which is a one-time purchase of $97. So if I have about 20 to 40% of people who get that upsell, you can see how quickly we are making back that ad spend, depending on how many people buy. Amy, do you agree with that? And do you have any other must-dos when you're starting running ads to your low ticket offer?
I think the big thing, I think those upsells and order bumps, those are such an important part of these funnels because you're not going to get rich or be profitable off of a $27, $37 offer, right? So it's really, really important that not only does that initial offer sell, but then you also have that added order value. So that's where you can start to see some return on your ad spend.
Absolutely. I think that is so important. I think the second thing to have in place is understanding how you can replicate your pages so that they have a specific funnel that your campaign manager or yourself, if you're going to be running your own ads, can drive traffic to. That way it's going to be very pixel specific and you're not confusing your ad traffic with your organic traffic. That's what was really fun for me is I was able to replicate my funnel, have all the unique links, and give it it to Amy and Jillian and say like, here you go, put in the code wherever you want. And, that way they can track, especially using Kajabi, just to make sure the reporting's on par. They can then go into offers, go into the specific offers that say Facebook on them and verify that those purchases were made. So from a back end perspective, I think it's important that either you or a member of your team understands how that works, because it's going to make your campaign manager's life a lot easier. Do you agree with that, Amy?
Yeah, and numbers, like being able to track in numbers are so important. We've got a lot of changes going on with Facebook right now and tracking. So, having those separate funnels and really being able to follow and compare your Facebook traffic to your organic traffic, because it's different, right? Organic traffic, it's usually a warmer audience. They know you, they're a referral. So typically they buy faster. Sometimes cold traffic, maybe they need to get to know you a little bit longer. So it's always kind of interesting to see how it compares. And also just so you can clearly see if your ads are working or not. Facebook ads reporting tool is amazing. And I know we're going to have some new features rolling out soon that's going to help with this reporting. And some of them are in beta now, but it's so important to know your numbers, because otherwise, if you're just throwing money at Facebook ads, you want to make sure that it's converting. You want to make sure that whatever that goal is that you're optimizing for, that you're reaching it. Because if not, you need to make those tweaks and adjustments. So you're not just, throwing money at Facebook ads and hoping that it works.
Absolutely. And I think that's what so much of us do, especially in the beginning of our business. And we hear like, oh, we'll get into ads. And so we try and we fail and we get frustrated and we never touch it again. I had such an aversion to ads, and people are like, okay, let's go in the dashboard together. I'm like, I can't, I physically cannot. So I think a lot of us struggle with that. I think the other thing, which is kind of a do and do not, is your graphics. And what really impressed me in the pitch package that Amy sent over were the graphics that she created for her clients. And when I was sent over the first designs, it was so exciting, because to have someone else that can design better than you when you're used to doing all the things for your business was such a relief. And I felt really, really good about them putting me out there, and felt like, okay, these ads, they have the color psychology, they have the images, this is going to work really well. And I've been really impressed with those results. So I think the do is to have really strong graphics, or hire an agency that specializes in that. That's a shining point, where they're not just do this one thing. They have a bunch of different varieties to test. And now I was telling Jillian, let's increase the ad spend this month. And do you think that I need to be doing anything else? And she's like, okay, take a screen flow of your product and we're going to make a little thing for a separate ad. That's what I love, is that it's that collaborative thing and it's visually really appealing. So I think that's an important part of it. And Amy, I just have to tell you, I've been really impressed with that side of your agency.
That makes me so happy. I always love getting creative back and looking at it, because if you're going to spend money on ads, your creative needs to be on point, and your image and your video, that's what gets people to stop scrolling. So that's really the first thing they see. So anytime I see a cool ad, I'm always like, ooh, what is this? And then you're going to read the copy. But if it's boring, people are going to keep scrolling. Or if it doesn't communicate your brand, or if it doesn't look professional, or if it just doesn't look like it's designed well, you're spending money on an ad that no one's clicking on. So your design is really, really important. And so I'm very grateful for our graphic designers, because I'm in Canva making a mess of things.
And that shows hire the people that can do it better than you, hence this conversation, which I love. If you want to take a look at those creatives, I will take some screenshots and put them below. So if you are listening on Stitcher or Apple, then just head on over to visibilityvixen.com/blog, and you can just put Amy in the search bar, and this episode will come up so that you can check those out. But in the meantime, closing statements about Facebook ads. Amy, for the entrepreneur that wants to get more exposure, wants to build their audience, but is feeling a little frustrated, maybe a little discouraged, what would you say to them?
I always say with Facebook ads, it's okay to start small. You do not have to start with a massive budget testing a million different things. So it is okay to start with one thing with a small budget, test it, see if it works, see if that offer resonates with your audience. You can always add on, you can always spend more, but you really want to make sure your offers convert before you start throwing a bunch of money at Facebook ads. So it's totally fine to start small. Don't feel like, you've got to come out of the gate spending thousands of dollars to get return on your Facebook ads. It's more about your offer. It's more about your creative. Those are the most important pieces and getting them in front of the right people.
Absolutely. And for our listeners that want to find you and connect with you, where can they do that?
So you can head over to sociallabmarketing.com. We've got lots of goodies there. You can grab some of our free ad templates. So you can kind of get a feel for some of our favorite ads and what works in the newsfeed. So yeah, sociallabmarketing.com. All the goodies are there.
Fantastic. And as a reminder, we would love for you to screenshot this episode on your phone and share it with us on Instagram stories. You can tag myself at Visibility Vixen and Amy. I'm assuming it's either Social Lab Marketing or Amy Crane.
It's at Social Lab Marketing. Yeah.
Fantastic. Let us know what you appreciated about this episode. And if you have any questions, we are here to give you feedback and support. In the meantime, Amy, thanks for coming on today. I've had a blast talking with you. I love being transparent with listeners and saying exactly what I'm doing. And I really appreciate you taking the time to come and share with them exactly what we're doing with my ads. I appreciate you. I appreciate your energy and time that you've put into showcasing my business. And I'm so excited for my listeners to connect with you further so that maybe they can do it with theirs.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun. And for letting me talk about your ads. That's awesome.
Heck yeah, girl. I am always about it. So everyone have a great rest of your day. If you want to dive into Facebook ads, connect with Amy. And in the meantime, I will see you in the next episode.